Title: The Haunting of Pratt Street. Once a bustling avenue in the heart of Baltimore, Pratt Street had seen better days. Now it was a shadow of its former self, with boarded-up storefronts and long-forgotten memories. But the darkest secrets of Pratt Street were yet to be uncovered. It was a gloomy evening in early October when Mark, a young journalist with a fascination for urban legends, decided to explore Pratt Street. Armed with a camera and a determination to uncover the truth behind the street's eerie reputation, he ventured into the heart of the hood. As he walked along the desolate sidewalk, the wind whispered chilling tales of the past. Mark's footsteps echoed, and the faint scent of decay lingered in the air. He couldn't help but feel that something was watching him from the boarded-up buildings. His first stop was an old pawn shop that had been closed for decades. The dusty windows were adorned with faded advertisements for long-forgotten items. Mark had heard rumors that the pawn shop was haunted, and he intended to find out if they were true. He pushed open the creaking door and stepped into the dimly lit interior. The air was thick with the smell of old leather and wood. Mark's heart pounded as he glanced around, searching for any sign of paranormal activity. Suddenly, a cold breeze swept through the room, extinguishing the lone candle he had brought with him. Mark was plunged into darkness, his heart racing. He fumbled for his flashlight and managed to turn it on just in time to catch a glimpse of a shadowy figure disappearing into the depths of the shop. His curiosity got the better of him, and he followed the ghostly presence deeper into the pawn shop. The air grew colder with every step, and Mark's breath formed icy clouds in front of him. He reached a back room where a battered piano sat in the corner, covered in dust and cobwebs. As Mark approached the piano, a haunting melody began to play, as if by unseen hands. He froze, unable to comprehend what was happening. The keys moved on their own, producing an eerie tune that sent shivers down his spine. The ghostly pianist revealed herself, a spectral woman dressed in a tattered gown from a bygone era. She played with a mournful expression, her eyes fixed on a faded photograph resting on the piano's music stand. Mark approached cautiously and examined the photograph. It was a portrait of a young couple, their smiles frozen in time. The woman at the piano was the spitting image of the woman in the photograph, and it dawned on Mark that he was witnessing a tragic love story from the past. The ghostly pianist continued to play, her music conveying a deep sense of longing and sorrow. Mark felt tears welling up in his eyes as he realized that her soul was trapped in this place, forever reliving her lost love. He decided to leave the pawn shop, feeling that he had intruded on something deeply personal. As he stepped back onto Pratt Street, the air felt warmer, and the oppressive darkness lifted. The once dead street seemed to come alive with the echoes of its past. But Mark's journey was far from over. He had heard rumors of another haunted location on Pratt Street, an abandoned theater that had once been a hub of entertainment. As he approached the old theater, he could hear faint echoes of laughter and applause. Entering the theater, Mark was transported back in time. The grandeur of the place was still evident, despite its years of neglect. He walked down the aisle toward the stage, where an ethereal audience watched an invisible performance. Suddenly, the ghostly figure of an actress appeared on stage, reciting lines from a play that had long been forgotten. Mark was mesmerized by her performance, her voice filled with passion and emotion. The audience clapped and cheered as if the show had just begun. But as the actress reached the climax of her monologue, a cold breeze blew through the theater, extinguishing the ghostly lights. The audience and the actress faded away, leaving Mark in darkness once again. As he made his way out of the theater, Mark couldn't help but wonder about the stories of love, passion, and tragedy that Pratt Street held within its abandoned buildings. The street might have fallen into disrepair, but its history, and the souls of those who once lived there, continued to haunt its every corner. Mark left Pratt Street that evening, his camera filled with images and his heart heavy with the weight of the stories he had uncovered. He knew that he had witnessed something extraordinary, something that would forever stay with him. Pratt Street's secrets were not for the faint of heart, but for those willing to explore its haunted past. It held a world of mystery and wonder, waiting to be discovered once more. Subscribe to Fearful Fables for more stories.